Hi guys, I'm Lynn, he's Jonathan, and we are Create and Capture Life. This is our campground review of the Soledad Canyon 1,000 Trails in Acton, California.
Yep.
This is my view, always, right here. This is white, and then Jonathan can't see out the mirrors because this guy decides he has to be in the way. So here where it's full, you can kind of tell where the spaces are. But if you're just driving through and there's nothing next to a space, it's hard to tell which space is which space. And if you see the pedestal, I don't know if you're going to see it on this video, but if you see a pedestal, the numbers are really small. There was one right there. So I couldn't even see most of the numbers. Jonathan could see them, but I couldn't see most of the numbers. So this area over here is tent camping. Sorry, we're driving through pits in the road, but this is all tent camping over here. So right there, as we're driving through, right there is the dump station. So there's 2 lanes there and you can dump there. Right here is one of the bathrooms. The bathrooms are not great, but they're usable, they're just not great. And you can see the road here, you can see the road. This is the most of road you're going to get here until you get to the front. Everything else is really not defined as a road. This is the guard check you drive into to get into the campground. We were camped all the way down that, like around this road down there. And you can also camp down on this side. This building has the camp store, which is right there. It has a little banquet center, the 1,000 Trails office. So that's this building. It's a little banquet room that you can rent out if you want to. At some point this is a restaurant, not right now. It's a little eatery, fireplace. This is all closed right now. So there's the RV storage. This is your view outside of the office. There's our RV. There's all this is parking. And then if you walk out of the store, this door is locked, so I'm not sure what's in there. That might be like storage or something. But if you walk down this path, and you walk all the way, I'm not going to keep the camera rolling all the way, but if you walk all the way down there, which we're going to do now, we'll show you what's down there. So that's the building we were just at. We walked all the way down here, and we're still walking. We haven't made it yet. There's Jonathan. That is one of only 2 laundry rooms in this entire place. And then this is the pool, one of the pools. There are only 2 pools here.
Apparently they have a community garden.
I'm not going to video in the laundry room because I don't know, I think people are in there doing laundry, but I'll go in there and check it out. Over here there's like a little community garden, bunch of tables outside.
Alright, so this is kind of cool. It's a little modern technology. They have contactless payment, and they have 7 washers and 8 dryers. So even though this is only one of 2, at least they've got some pretty large capacities in here.
It's $1.75 to wash and $1.75 to dry.
There you go. $1.75 and $1.75, and looks like it's either an app or you can just straight out do contactless. So here's the app, so you can download it, load it, all the things. This is one of the 1,000 Trails country stores. Looks like there's a popcorn machine in there, so maybe this is like a snack store because it's got a window there. And then Lynn was saying there's another window over here. And this definitely looks like a little snack shack. So
that little general store that Jonathan was just talking about is right next to the putt-putt golf. So I'm assuming you probably get the putt-putt stuff from this little store, but they're not open and it says seasonal hours, so I don't know what seasonal hours are. And then this is the big pool. I'm not gonna walk all the way over there, but not a bad view from the pool. And there's also a splash pad. There's a splash pad for the kids over there, a bathroom, and as you can tell, this is a pretty big pool.
there's a playground off in the distance too.
Oh, and then Jonathan just noticed there's a playground. Sorry for all the zooming, but there's a playground over there. So this is where I guess all the kids would come to. But the big thing about this is you cannot, I mean you could walk here, but it's a long walk. It's a good mile from where we were camping probably. So that's why they have a parking lot, so you can drive up here, use the pool, use the putt-putt golf and all that, and then you drive back to your parking space or your camping spot.
Here's our spot, and I think we are 98, at least that's where we're plugged into. So there's 98, 99, there's also 98 there, but these are newer boxes, even though they look kind of beat up, but they're 30, 50, 20. Good water hookup. Decent pressure. And then, yeah, there's that train again. And then the sewer hookups are actually pretty good as well. So we had no problems with ours. Again. So 30, 50, 20. 30, 50, 20. I'm not sure what the 15 is for. What if there's an outlet somewhere else that we're missing? So on the map, it shows that space 98 is 30 amp only and 99 is 50. But it looks like they upgraded the pedestal where we're at to be the 30, 50, 20. And then there's the old 30 amp only right next to it. So if you're pulling in, make sure you're checking not just the paperwork, but also come and check the sites. There's a couple other sites. Spin around here. Like for instance, that site right there, and I know I'm in the shadow, but that site right there has the do not use. Turns out they have a few sites around here that are do not use. Don't know if they're down for maintenance, rehab, whatever, but we pulled into a couple and realized, oh, all the power is abandoned. They have water and sewer, but no power. So that was a little weird. But we do know that one of the sections, and I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but one of the sections down past us that is all 50 amp, I believe, 50 amp full hookup, is completely being renovated and redone. So good things are coming. So other than the train, it's pretty quiet for the most part. You can look around and see there's not a lot of people here right now. I bet you this place gets much busier. during the summer months, and probably in some of the other areas as well. Yeah. One thing you find in common with this park is a lot of dirt everywhere. Most of the sites seem pretty level though, so that's good. We found a few of these red ant hills. 2 of them right here by where our site is. So check the area before you park. Make sure you're not parking in an anthill.
We have been here for 2 nights, 3 days. So we've walked you guys around a little bit. Now we're kind of gonna give you opinions and a little more information than we originally had. Getting up here.
Yeah, getting up here was rough, and not because, you know, it was a lot of like hills or anything like that. Traffic. Getting through Los Angeles and traffic, it took us almost 3 hours to get here from Orange County.
And it was only like 30 miles.
Yep.
And it took 3 hours to get here. So if you're coming from anywhere south of here in California, be prepared for it to take you a lot longer than you think it will, because you are on the 5 freeway all the way to the 14, and the 5 is a nightmare.
Yeah. And
anybody who lives in California knows that the 5, no matter what time of day it is a nightmare.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. But it was also a Friday, and you'd expect Friday light traffic.
We even left early. It was the afternoon. It was before the end of the workday. All the things didn't matter.
Nope.
It was crazy stop and go traffic. And then I'm looking down because I have a bunch of notes. Soledad Canyon roads, you take the 5 to the 14 if you're coming south. This is the way it told us to go. You take the 5 to the 14 to Soledad Canyon Road, which is a 2-lane road. And there are, at first there are no turnouts. So people, if you're in a motorhome, are not happy that you're in front of them. Hold on. People are not happy that you're in front of them. And then when you got to Crown Valley Road, there were turnouts. Luckily, like legit turnouts, so that you could let people go past you.
Yeah, we were stacking up cars behind us, and I kept looking. I did find one little pullout, and it wasn't really a pullout. It was someone's super long driveway. So I kind of, you know, just carefully pulled off to the side and then used their driveway to get back on to the road, because I started to have, I don't know, about 10 or 15 cars behind me, and I just, you know, with Lynn and the dogs and everything and all the motion sickness, I wasn't trying to get anybody sick.
Plus it's curvy 2-lane, and so yeah, so it was crazy, but it was fine. It wasn't too long. The road that you have to take up here isn't too far. I think it was like 4 miles.
Yeah.
So, but the speed limit is anywhere between 35 and 50 depending on where you are on the road. So, and we're in a motorhome, especially this one, we do the speed limit. So yeah, we kept having to move for other people, but whatever, that's the life of RVers, right? Mm-hmm. We were in space, I'm looking at my notes again, we were in space 98 in the B section. It's all, I'm sure, like Jonathan walked you guys outside, and it's hard to tell because the spaces aren't really delineated, and then I showed you that again when we were driving. So when you're trying to find your space, when there aren't a bunch of RVs, it's kind of hard to tell where you're supposed to go. And in the B section, which they didn't tell us, the only reason we did B section, by the way, is because they said that's where the dog park was. So that's the only reason we went down there. Otherwise, we probably would have went to the closer one, which actually looks nicer than where we were.
It was definitely a little bit busier, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I think it's nicer. And so we went where they told us the dog park was, which is why we did the B section. And yeah.
We didn't show you guys the dog park section. It was a pretty good sized dog park. It was all fenced in, stuff like that. They had little waste cans for your poop bags and whatnot.
They had 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah. Waste cans, whatever.
There were 5-gallon buckets.
But there was
full of poop bags.
But there was dirt. There was no grass. It was just
no
all
shade.
Dirt. No shade either. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're here in the summer, it gets really warm, and so yeah, no shade.
But they have a dog run with a fence, so that is nice.
No matter what section you decide to go to, make sure and pay attention to the map, because in the B section, everything is mixed up. So there are like what are the spots? Like water
only, water and electrical, and then full hookup. And then there's also, we showed you, there's also tent sites.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not like this whole row is 30 amp and this whole row is 50 amp and this whole row is this. They're in the B section.
Yeah.
They're mixed in. So like we were in a spot with 30 amp and the space next to us has 50 amp.
Yeah. And you guys saw, so that's according to the map, but you guys saw how I showed you that even though our spot 98 was only supposed to be 30 amp, it looks like they've upgraded the electrical, so it's 30, 50, 20. And 99 next to us, which was supposed to be 50, was also 30, 50, 20. So their map is not up to date, but it looks like, they're upgrading things. So that's cool.
So yeah, it was just confusing when we were driving in, and then to see the space numbers, they were on the little pedestals, and my vision's horrible. I need new glasses. So I couldn't even see the space numbers. He could see them luckily, but it was tough. If it's real busy, it'd be easy because there'll be a bunch of, you drive between two other RVs, I guess, so it'd be a little bit easier.
Yeah. Speaking of new glasses, no, these are not my permanent glasses. These are my emergency set. I don't really like them, but if for some reason you guys like them, just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think, but I'm not a fan.
They look like safety glasses.
Yeah, they look like safety glasses. That's why they're just my emergency set. They were free.
Had to take a little break there. Sorry, camp hair, no makeup. Sorry, not sorry.
She's turning into one of those non-feminine...
Yeah, like you guys, there's some people who tell me, don't become one of those non-feminine RV women. Well, here you go.
On our way out and kind of walking around and stuff like that, we saw everything. I think the only thing we didn't see was a schoolie.
Yeah.
But we saw truck campers, tent campers. We saw fifth wheels, motorhomes, just
everything. People who lived
travel
in their
trailers.
People who live in their cars that pulled up to have
Yep.
to be able to charge their cell phone. We saw one lady who obviously lives in her car, and she was just using she had an electrical site just so she could plug her cell phone in, electrical and water.
Yeah, and she was using her computer and
yeah.
some other stuff. So
the prices, if you're not, we are Thousand Trails members. We have the camping pass and the trails collection, not the big giant like $7,000, $10,000 membership. We have the low, like the camping pass and the trails collection, which the price changes all the time, so you'll have to look that up for current pricing and deals. But for us, we didn't pay anything. But I looked up the prices online. It's $68 is the lowest for full hookups, which was for the 30 amp full hookups. It goes up from there. Like the 50 is more, but it didn't say what it was online. It said if you'd have to go through the booking process and then it will tell you. But I did see that the cabins can go up to, because they do have cabins here, the cabins can go up to over $200 a night. So, and that leads us to this interesting thing. This place has a lot of rules, which, all RV parks have rules. But this is the first time we've ever had them check, like physically check, our registration, ID, proof of insurance. Like they wanted to see all of it before we could check in. And we've been to a lot of campgrounds, and they'll see the RV and then they write the license plate number down and your driver's license, and that's it. But even though we are Thousand Trails members and they have all our info in the system, we had to show proof of insurance, registration, and everything. So just be aware of that if you come here.
Yeah. And then when I checked in, the gal told me something interesting that I really didn't understand. And now we just showed you guys, as we're getting ready to leave, we showed you guys the pool and the splash pad. And I can only imagine that that's why she mentioned this, but they gave us only 2 of these little...
it's like a visitor pass?
Yeah, it's like the accompanying vehicle passes or something like that. And she said, if you lose it, it's really hard to replace. And I was really confused. I was like, oh, it's a piece of paper. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just literally like a piece of paper.
Yeah, and she says, no. She goes, we don't reissue them because apparently people pay a lot of money to have these.
So what she's saying is people, which we get because we work for Disney, people get these little so if you have a family member who's going to come visit you, you have to give them one of these so that they can come here. And they were saying that people sell these to other people for over $100, which we were like, what? Like, this place is nice, but I mean, it's not great. It's like rugged. It's not a resort. Let's just put it that way. It's dirty. It's not, it's lots of dirt.
It's a regular RV park.
It's not a resort.
It's a campground.
So we were like, what the heck? Why would people want to pay $100 for this? I don't get it. And then when we just saw down the other end, the really nice pool and splash pad area and all that, like maybe that's why, but really weird. So if you have these and like for your vehicle, or you have someone who's visiting you and you lose these, they'll charge you $100 to replace this piece of paper.
Yeah.
So that was weird because we've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And there are limits to how many people you can have. So if you're a member, you can have 10 people in your spot. And that includes like visiting. So like if you want to have a bunch of people over, if you're a member, you can have up to 10 people. If you're a non-member, you can only have 6 people. And that's it. And they do check. Like they were driving around and like they do check. So it's real kind of interesting.
I do like the fact that they have a lot of security. People are always driving around. They're always cleaning up, stuff like that. So it's dirty in the sense that it's campground, but it's clean in the sense that you don't see trash and stuff like that everywhere.
They do take care of that.
Yeah.
The cabins are mixed in. They're not separate. And a lot of the 1,000 Trails we've been to, the cabins are kind of one row by themselves. Here, the cabins are mixed in. So it looked like, from what we could tell from the map, any of the big sections have cabins mixed in. So I guess that's kind of cool. If you have family staying in the cabin and you're in your RV, like you could get the spot hopefully next to it. But they don't assign you spots here. This is 1,000 Trails where they don't assign you a spot. So, what is that?
It's fine.
This is 1,000 Trails where they don't assign you a spot. They just give you the map and say park wherever you want and then come back and tell us where you are. So I don't know if you were planning to get next to a cabin. I guess maybe you could or maybe you couldn't because you don't get assigned spots.
Yeah. I think they assign cabins.
Yeah, cabins, but not like RV spots. So I don't know how that would work out. So here's the map. So you can see, it's a pretty, I didn't leave it on the screen for very long, but it's a pretty big map. This is a trifold. We've never had a trifold map at an RV park yet.
We'll take a picture of it and show it bigger.
Well, you can look it up online.
Yeah, you can look it up online.
One of the sections, the bottom section's K, is under construction right now, and this is June 5th, of 2022. That section's it's closed completely. They do have about 700 spaces in this RV park, which is mixed between tent spaces, cabins, RV spots, and everything else. So it's a very big park. But here's the thing. There are only 2 laundry rooms in the entire, for 700 spaces, there are only 2 laundry rooms. We showed you the one that was over here that you would definitely have to drive to do your laundry. The other one is in the K section. It's just closed right now. So if you're going to come here and you need to do laundry, you're going to have to load your car up, drive down here, and do your laundry in this laundry room, at least for right now. And so for us, we didn't have to do laundry because we're only here for the weekend, but if we were going to be here longer, we don't have an extra car with us. So if we were going to do laundry, we'd be trekking it. To go do laundry, or we'd just not do laundry, I don't know. Because we don't have a car. So if you have a tow car, then that's easier because you can put the laundry in your car. But for us, like, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, and it's even down from where you park to go to the laundry. I mean, we kind of showed it just a little bit in the video, but even from where you park to do your laundry down to the laundromat is a little bit of a trek. Yeah, so just be prepared for that if you have to do laundry while you're here. The 2 pools, according to the directions or the rules, are open from 11 a.m. until dusk, so they're not open at night at all. No night swimming. There are 2 dump stations, which is good. So if you do get a site without a sewer, you can dump while you're here. They sell propane, but only between, right now, as of June 5th, 2022, they only sell propane from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. So you gotta set an alarm if you want to. Yeah. If you want to buy propane. If you need to top off your propane tank, you got a half-hour window that they're open. And we did show you video of the metro. Didn't bother us, but if you're a light sleeper, don't be in the B section where we were, because the train goes it's probably not even 100 yards
right next to where we
Yeah.
were. Didn't bother us.
No, and it doesn't go that late. I think the latest one was around 9:30, and then the first one was just before 6 a.m.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's like, well, it's a Metrolink, so it's for working,
Yeah.
working hours probably. I don't even know, but I'd never woke us up in the middle of the night.
no. So if you're trying to avoid hearing the train, avoid the A section and the B section. They're the closest to the train. I honestly don't think it matters because a train horn is a train horn, and in the quiet, it's going to be loud. But
if you're sensitive to noises and it
Yeah.
bothers you, then pick a section further away from A and B.
yeah, and just as we're here, you can hear in the background, like you'll hear motorcycles and trucks and stuff like that going by. That's Soledad Canyon Road out there, and Soledad Canyon Road, I looked and I think it goes pretty far. It's like crossover road between the 14 and a couple of towns. I think it takes you all the way over to Acton and stuff like that.
The actual town of Acton.
Yeah.
So if you're sensitive to noises, just be aware.
A and B are not your friend.
Yeah. And other than that, it is very quiet here, at least for us. Where we were, there weren't kids, and now I kind of understand why, because where we were, it's just dirt and there's nothing to do. There's no playground, no anything. And so we didn't see any kids in our area, but
We really didn't see
the
much
A
of
section
anybody
is
at all.
really busy, and so maybe there are more kids there. And then down here, obviously, where the play area is, there's a ton of kids. So, but they're not anywhere near where your RV would be. So I don't think you'd ever be bothered by kids if that bothers you.
I think we didn't really mention this too much in any of the other things that I showed, but this place does have open Wi-Fi. Well, open in the sense that you can get onto the Wi-Fi. It is captive portal, so they do charge you for Wi-Fi. But it was $5 for 24 hours. It was like $20 for 7 days or something like that. So we just did two 24-hour time periods. So
we spent $10.
Spent $10. It was $4.95, I think, so just under $10. It was okay. The first day we were here on Friday, no problem. Online, we were able to stream YouTube and
yesterday during the day.
And yesterday during the day, it was last night, Saturday night, is when it bogged down a little bit. So
Yeah, we were having trouble streaming. It was time, lagging, and then like my phone, I have Sprint, and my phone was being a little jerk, and I couldn't. It wouldn't load social media and things. Or show stories or anything on my phone. He wasn't having as much trouble. You have AT&T.
I have AT&T. AT&T seemed to be doing a little bit better.
So, but we could text and call.
Yeah.
That wasn't an issue. And that was just in the B section. So I don't know about the other sections. We did see one RV that has the Starlink. So if any of you guys have Starlink, let us know what you think of that.
Yep.
Because we are looking into that. So if you have Starlink or know anything about it, please comment down below and let us know what you think of Starlink. If you don't have Starlink and you have like DirecTV or one of those satellite things, Dish, they give you the actual coordinates, geographical coordinates separately for Dish and DirecTV in the map. And I've never seen that in another 1,000 Trails. So that's kind of, if you needed that, they give it to you.
And by geographical coordinates, she's talking about the pitch and yaw and azimuth of the satellite dish, where you need to point it to start to get your lock.
Yeah, because it says like for Dish, it says has a south coordinate, elevation, and a skew coordinate.
Yeah, it's
And there's a train.
There's the train. That's the Metrolink.
That's the Metrolink right behind us. So that's how loud it is if you're right next to it in this parking lot. But yeah, it does. It gives you the coordinates, and I haven't seen that before in 1,000 Trails. So if you need, I don't know if you need that. I don't know much about that, but if you need it, it's there.
It's a good place to start. Unless you have one of those cool auto finding directional thing. Yeah.
Auto finding directional thingies.
Yeah.
And then according to them, now, if you're not from California and you're just visiting, you might believe them. I'm going to tell you right now, don't necessarily believe them. But according to them, Universal Studios and Magic Mountain are within an hour from here. Depends on traffic. So they don't tell you how far it is because it's California. Nobody speaks in miles in California. So it literally says on the things to do, that Universal Studios and Magic Mountain are an hour from here. Your times may vary. Let's just put it that way. It is California, and your times may vary based on traffic.
We just told you it took us almost 3 hours to go right around 30 to 40 miles.
It was 30 miles from where we went, and so your times may vary. And let's see, what else can we tell you about this 1,000 Trails? Because you guys always say you want to know everything about the 1,000 Trail or these RV parks. So I'm trying to think. Oh, packages. If you're going to stay here for a while, they do not, under any circumstances, accept USPS. So no mail, but you can get FedEx, UPS, and like those kind of things. But $25 per package for them to receive it for you. So keep that in mind. Don't order a whole bunch of Amazon things that come in different boxes, because you're going to be paying, you might have got the shipping free on Prime, but you're going to pay $25 a box to get it from them.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Their little general store is cute. It's got some stuff in there. They do have a little coffee shop and whatnot, if you need those kind of amenities.
Yeah.
You know, like I mentioned when I was doing the power, it was good solid power. I think it was 119 volts is what I was getting for the most part on my on our power watchdog. Yeah, good clean power.
Where we were.
Yeah, water pressure was decent.
So yeah, that's about. Oh, and then Jonathan told you about the red ants.
Yep.
There are red ants everywhere, and if you're not from California and you're like, red ants, who cares? They do bite or sting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a sting or a bite, but it's not fun. Let me just say that. So be aware of those, because they're everywhere. Even when we went out by the pool and the putt-putt golf area and everything, there are red ants everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're not pleasant. They're not Texas red ants, the big that will
like the big fire ants
swarm at you, but they do sting or bite or whatever that is. And I guess that would be it. I'm trying to think. I think we told you guys everything about this campground that we can. If you have any specific questions for us about this campground, please comment down below and let us know what those questions are, because we can answer those. But I feel like we covered most of it. If you are here, this is not a destination campground. What I mean by that is, this is not somewhere you would stay because there's a million things to do right here. There isn't. You're in the middle of the San Gabriel Mountains, and there are no trails or close to here. You'd have to drive to go to Angeles Crest. You can drive, to hiking areas, but you're not going to get there from here walking. So if you're coming here as a base camp to go out and do other things, there are other things usually, within an hour from here to do, like hiking and things like that. But this is not you're going to have a million things to do that are right close to here. I guess that's pretty much it for this campground. If you guys want to know more, I'm sure this video is kind of long for a campground review, but the other campground reviews we've done, you guys have asked for more info, so we figured we would give you more info on this one. This is as of, like I said, June 5th, 2022. So depending upon when you watch this, things will change. If you come here in the summer, it was in the high 80s while we were here. There are mature trees throughout, so just try to park in the shade, because when you're in the shade like we were, there is a nice breeze, because you're in between the mountains, so there is a nice breeze. But if it's above 90, you're going to need your air conditioning and all that, because it will get really hot here, because it gets very hot in the San Gabriel Mountains. Also, if you want to come in during California fire season, which is
always
pretty much always, but August, late summer, early fall is when we usually get big fires.
Yeah. August, September, October.
Check Soledad Canyon. That's there have been a lot of fires in Soledad Canyon, so be aware of that if you're coming in during that time of the year. And then the last thing is, I haven't seen this in any other RV park that's 1,000 trails, but they all have rules. Like, there's all these papers, there's all the rules. They're the basic rules, which that's fine, not a problem. So actually in this park, it tells you failure to comply to these park rules can lead to fines, immediate suspension from the park, membership suspensions, or termination. So they're pretty serious about you following the rules in this part. Because if it tells you here that they can suspend or terminate your Thousand Trails membership based on your activities here, I haven't seen that before.
Never seen that before either.
So if you've seen that in another Thousand Trails, let us know if you're a Thousand Trails member.
Well, and let's be
there are a lot of Thousand Trails
Yeah.
people here with the green. There are a lot.
Yeah. You know, maybe other parks have that, and it's kind of in the background of some of the paperwork. These guys put it in like bold, like right on the front of all of the stuff. It's like that huge section right there. It's a good chunk of that page.
Right along with no wood fires, because California fire season is always.
But
so they're pretty serious about you following the rules. We have seen a lot of Thousand Trails people with the green polos on. They're very friendly. Everyone here is very nice. The check-in process, everybody's very, very nice. They waved to you in the park. Check-in was great. When we went into the little store, everyone said hi. So everyone here that we saw, all the staff, is very nice. And we did see a lot of them out, like he said, cleaning up, watering things,
fixing things.
So kudos to them on that, because we haven't seen that a lot in other parks.
Let us know in the comments down below if there's anything that we missed.
Or you want to know.
Yeah, let us know if there's anything more that you want to know. Leave the comment down below of, you know, what information you guys looking for when we do these videos. I mean, we try to, you know, do these videos based on what we like to know. We also do these videos based on what we've seen other RE channels do reviews. So, but we're here for you guys.
We want to give you the information you want. So if we're lacking information, you think we should add something, take something out, comment down below, because we would love to know and, you know, curate our resort or RV park reviews to what you're looking for us to tell you.
Yep. And then we'll start jotting those down on a list and make sure we hit those bullet points every time we do a review.
We have people ask, and I've already gotten a couple messages on Instagram about this, how much is this trip costing us? We are Thousand Trails members, so the campground didn't cost us anything, although we did pay for the Trails collection and the
Camping pass.
Yeah, the camping pass and the Trails collection. So that was a cost, but that we paid for a long time ago. We put $100 in gas into the RV before we left, and that was the only reason it was 100 is because that's where the pump stopped. It didn't fill up the tank, but that's where the pump stopped. And we spent $174.27 on groceries. But keep in mind, we had emptied out the RV because we hadn't had it out since November, so we replaced oils and butters and condiments, things like that, because we had taken all the food out. So the total cost for this weekend for us is $274.27.
And then, you know,
do with that what you will.
We'll have to top off the tank once we get back at some point before we leave for our next trip, but we'll put those charges on
the next trip. So
hopefully gas prices will have gone down by then.
Yeah, right.
I doubt
they're only going up. I guess that's it. So thank you guys so much for being here. We do appreciate each and every one of you. We are sorry that our videos have been sporadic. We're doing the best we can. There's a lot going on in the background that we're not ready to talk about yet, but there's a lot going on in the background of our lives that it's hard to get videos out every week, but we are trying to do our best. This weekend was amazing. We needed this to just be quiet. We did nothing but chill, and it was great.
Yep.
So we hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, we appreciate all of you. We love you guys. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps us with the algorithm. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because that does help us also. That it?
That's it.
Okay, so stay safe, stay healthy.
Travel.
Often.
There you go.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Waiting on the Greyhound to Chicago.